Hello and welcome back to another Telair MyPBX video tutorial. In this video, we're going to be showing you your end user access to the MyPBX panel. Now, unlike the administrative access that we talked about in previous videos, each user will have their own unique login and password where they're going to see their own settings and options to manage how their calls and voicemails are routed. So let's log into our demo account here. So we're going to log into extension 221. So the username is usually the tenant followed by the extension number. I'm going to put in the password for this user here. And it's going to load up a different looking page than what we're used to in the administrative side, but it's strictly unique to what the user can see. So starting from the left-hand navigation panel, we can see that our options start with our contacts. Now, under the personal contacts category, this gives me options where I can create my own personal contact book. Now, this is nice because anytime that I log into the system, I can use click-to-call features that will quickly dial my phone and then dial the other person's that I'm calling their contact without even me having to press any numbers or even look at my phone's directory. So I can set up a test demonstration here. Let's call this Jane Smith. Now, if this person is already within the organization, I can select that person from the list so it'll know that what their direct extension is. And when I press save, I don't necessarily have to fill out the rest. I have this blue link and this blue icon under the phone where it'll allow me to call. If I press this button, my desk phone will ring at extension 221 and it'll automatically ring 222. Now I can create as many as I want in this personal contacts page, and I can put external numbers for home, mobile, and office as well with the click to call option. So this is a great feature to quickly call calls and build personal contacts within the phone system without having to manually enter entries into the phone itself. Now, under the company contacts, this is controlled based on the administrative panel that we showed you before. When setting up internal extensions and call directories, this will be listed to everybody within the organization. So as your organization decides to grow and you don't know who to reach in certain departments, that is controlled by the administrator, and you can always sort and see people depending on whatever field is here. So I can look for people in the sales department or support department and find who they are and quickly hit click to call to reach their extension right away. So this is a great feature also for admins and HR to control their entire departments and all the phone numbers, so anybody and everybody in the organization can have numbers listed. Now, if there are certain people in the company directory that they don't want listed, in the administrative portal they have the option to remove that person from the company listings. So that's also a great feature. Caller lookup is the great feature that we have when linking to CRM systems such as Salesforce.com. In this example, we're not linked up, so we're going to get a message that comes up that we're unavailable. But as long as I am signed into this screen and I have my Salesforce.com linked up to my panel here, which the administrator can do, as long as this window is open, when my call and my phone rings with an inbound call, this screen will automatically open up Salesforce.com. Based on the caller ID that was ringing on my phone, the portal will automatically detect and open up that contact if it exists in my Salesforce window and pull up that contact ready for entry or for review. So this is a great feature for people who use some CRMs such as Salesforce.com and want to have full integration with incoming calls to help save time pulling up accounts. Call history is very straightforward. You can see a list of all your recent calls. In our case, we've got no calls to show. We haven't been calling during this demonstration, but you can see that it's very intricate. You can base it on who called you or where you're calling, and obviously you can view calls quickly through the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, and so forth. You'll also notice that you have a play tab here. If you're enabling call recording on your calls, you will see a play button where you can play back the recorded calls that were in your system. So not only can you see the date and time of a certain call that you called, but if you've enabled call recording, you can actually play that recording at any time by pressing that play key. Voicemail is a similar window where you can see anything in your inbox. Now, most users have voicemails automatically forwarding to their email and then deleting. So this will always remain empty if you have voicemail to email and email to delete your voicemail active. But if you don't and you like voicemails coming to your box, your voicemails will be stored here and you can sort them. And you can also email them to yourself or to a list of contacts within the organization that were saved. So if you receive, Jane's voicemail by accident, you can quickly go in, select this voicemail, and say, hey, this was for you, and any other text you want. You can forward that voicemail by email to that person without having to actually even pick up the phone. So that's another great feature with voicemail in the voicemail system. Now, under settings, you're going to get a bit more intricate settings, including your personal preferences, which is basically just color and theme options within the MyPBX system. Your voicemail settings is how you want your voicemail to be handled, and your PIN number you can change at any time. Now, the top three are notify by email, which in this case, the option is yes. Your email that it's going to. If you want the actual recorded greeting to be attached to the message, not just the notice. If this is unchecked, you'll just get a notification that there's a voicemail for you with the name, the caller ID information, and the length of the message. But if you actually click this, you're going to get a copy of that message. Now, what ends up happening is you get a copy of the message in your inbox, and your phone light is flashing that you have a message waiting. You then have to listen again and delete it out of your voicemail box. So if you don't want to listen to messages in your voicemail and your phone, you can select this option here that will delete voicemail after it's been emailed to you. Keep in mind that that voicemail category will be empty because it's deleting the voicemail from the system. So you don't get a voicemail indicator light flashing, and you'll only get your voicemails to your email. If you want to send voicemails to someone else temporarily, if you're on vacation, you want a copy of your voicemails, but you also want an assistant or someone handling your calls while you're gone. This is a great area where you can put in someone else's voicemail so that they get a copy of it as well without you having to remove yourself completely from the voicemail chain. Under the call forwarding feature, I have two ways of call forwarding. I have straight call forwarding, which gives me two basic options. Either call forward always, that's a straight call forward without ringing my phone, or if my call is busy, if I'm on the phone with somebody and I don't want to be troubled with call waiting, I can enable this option and put in my colleague at 225 who is taking my busy calls and my overflow. However, it's not commonly used and most people just want it to go to voicemail or ring to call waiting, so I'm going to leave this as disabled. Now, under the Find Me, Follow Me is a very detailed way of how I can route calls based on a number of parameters. If I want to allow this, I would like to either enable this for everybody, or I can enable special Find Me, Follow Me rules for specific phone numbers, such as family members or emergency contacts that can always find me. So I can set up rules here where if I don't answer my desk phone, I can have it try my home phone, my cell phone. I can ring all the phones at the same time or one after another or whatever combination that I feel that fits me. So I can specify don't ring my desk phone, just the numbers below. I can say ring my phone and the numbers below for an X amount of seconds. I can say ring my phone, and if I don't answer, then ring the additional phone numbers, and I can specify how long I want those numbers to be ringing for. And at the very bottom here, I can see I can ring each one of these 5 numbers sequentially, one after the other, or I can ring them all at the same time. So if it's an emergency number, I want my cell phone, I want my house phone, I want everybody's phone ringing at the same time to make sure that that call is answered. And the first person to answer that call is actually going to take the call, and all the other phones are going to stop ringing. Now, these 3 options below will allow me to play a little greeting that says to the caller, please hold while I find the person you are calling. Now, it's just basically an extended message so the caller doesn't hear a lot of ringing. So it's a little message that plays in between ringing your desk phone and calling outside numbers. So some people like to have it, some people don't like to have it, and they like to be anonymous and their callers don't know where they're actually ringing on. Use original caller's ID when forwarding. When you're getting calls, especially to your cell phone, if you don't have this option set, you're going to see your company number ringing. So if it's a business-related call, you'll know to answer like it's a business-related call. However, if you use this option, it's going to send whoever's calling you information as the person calling. So you won't know if it's a business call or if it was forwarded or these people are calling your cell phone directly. But this allows you to have control over how you like the caller ID working on your forwarding phone. Confirm call acceptance is a very nice feature. This is great for people that are forwarding to cell phones. So, for example, I have a business voicemail set up and I have my forwarding calls to my cell phone, but I have a personal greeting on my cell phone. I don't want my callers getting to my cell phone greeting. So what will happen here is if I put in my mobile number to forward to, if I don't answer my mobile number and it goes to my voicemail, the system will believe that the call is being picked up, even though your cell phone voicemail picked up, and it won't distinguish, and it'll allow the caller to leave a message on your personal cell phone. This option will play a greeting. So if your voicemail picks up and you don't press number 1 to accept the call, then it's going to revert back to your business voicemail. It also gives you a nice feature if you want call control on your cell phone or any other number you forward to. When the call comes in, it's going to play a greeting saying, you have an incoming call, press 1 to accept or 2 to ignore. If you press 2 to ignore, the call is going to come back to this PBX system and leave a voicemail on your business recording. If you press 1 to accept, that caller will then be put through. So this is another great feature for those who like more control over how they receive their calls outside of the office. Call screening and call blocking are very similar options. You can screen callers predominantly for caller ID blocked, where if you enable this, anyone with a caller ID blocked, you can play a pre-recording that says, please record your name. And what will happen is when your phone will ring, you'll be presented with an option. You have a call from, and it'll play their recorded greeting. And then you have the option to press 1 to accept the call or 2 to ignore. If you press ignore, it will then send the caller to your voicemail. And you have further options here to control how you like your call screening to operate. Call blocking works in a very similar way. You can enable call blocking and block calls with specific IDs, or you can have it work in the reverse, is block all calls but only allow certain numbers to get through. Now, the nice thing about the call blocking feature is your caller will never know. So you can say, hey, just play busy to caller all the time. I don't even want this caller calling or leaving me a voicemail. If it's a telemarketer, this is a great feature because they'll never be able to get through. I can also play ringing to the caller and then hang up. So it doesn't go to my voicemail, but it still rings. Or I can just have it ring to the caller a few times and then go to my voicemail. However, if I do this, I will get a voicemail notification if they leave a voicemail. So this is how the call blocking works. And that is the options for the end user experience for the Telair MyPBX portal management system. I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to browse our other videos from the left-hand side. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.